Hey all, my name's Michael, welcome to the channel, and we're going to be getting into some 4chan stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let's begin. Be me, 23. I started seeing this girl, Zoe, about 3 months ago. I ran into her at a downtown art walk. She was sketching passersby in a tiny moleskin. I caught her eye because she was critiquing a minimalist installation with a microscopic ruler. I immediately knew she had more personality than the entire dog walking crowd combined. Our first date was supposed to be a quick coffee, but turned into a 7-hour gallery marathon. She made up wild origin stories for every painting, from haunted seascapes to alien picnic scenes. I learned she moonlights restoring vintage jukeboxes, builds custom skateboards, and collects rare vinyl. She has this anxious tic where she hums Bohemian Rhapsody under her breath when she's nervous. She insists that microwaving glass bowls is a science experiment in thermodynamics. It felt like I discovered some hidden indie film character instead of another swipe right clone. Within 3 days, we were texting non-stop. Every morning, she'd send me a photo of her latte art attempts. Once, she tried a tiny Pikachu. We'd swap absurd what-if scenarios at 2 a.m., like what if clouds were sentient. She'd drop off surprise snack packs at my desk before tight client deadlines, and I'd send her Photoshop edits of her cat wearing medieval armor. By week 2, we'd slipped into hanging out 5 nights straight without realizing it. Late night crossword puzzles, potluck dinners, impromptu karaoke in my living room. I learned she brews homemade kombucha. My first batch nearly flooded the kitchen. She made me a mixtape of local indie bands on cassette, so I bought a Walkman to play it. It felt like we were building our own micro-universe of inside jokes and lazy Sundays. I started fantasizing about deleting my dating apps for good. We discovered a mutual love for geology and spent a weekend hunting for polished rocks. She taught me to garden succulents on her fire escape and rescue baby snails after rain. We volunteered at an animal shelter together. She wielded cat toys like a pro magician. We shared childhood confessions. Her first concert was Weird Al Yankovic. Mine was My Chemical Romance. We bonded over mutual disdain for overpriced avocado toast at hipster cafes. She read me chapters from a sci-fi novel she's writing. The plot was bonkers, but I was hooked. She introduced me to parkour YouTube channels, nearly dislocated my shoulder vaulting over my balcony rail. We planned a hypothetical road trip to Marfa, Texas, and curated an entire Spotify playlist of desert rock. Last Thursday, she invited me to her place to finish building a thrifted IKEA vanity. Her apartment smelled like sandalwood, old paperbacks, and General Tso's chicken. We were half buried in wooden dowels, instruction sheets, and stray Allen wrenches. She was wearing my vintage band tee and mismatched socks. Absolute peak cozy chaos. Between misaligned screws and missing hardware, I felt the moment was right. "Do you want to make this official?" I asked. Her whole body froze mid-screwdriver twist, eyes glued to a crooked ceiling fixture. Silence stretched longer than my last project deadline extension. My heart pounded like I'd just launched a startup pitch. She finally whispered, "Zane, you know how much I care about you." My heart did backflips, waiting for yay or nay. She inhaled sharply and said, "But I think I owe my ex, Lucas, a proper goodbye." It felt like someone hit Ctrl-Alt-Delete on my entire emotional OS. Then she said the words that registered as a system crash. "Can I sleep with him one last time?" My jaw literally hit the floor. I heard a Windows error beep in my mind. I sputtered, "Did you just..." She laughed nervously, eyes darting like she'd stepped on hot coals. The instant shift from indie rom-com to psychological thriller was brutal. I asked for details with all the tact of a detective. When was the last time? She claimed months ago, but her leg was bouncing like a startled rabbit. I kept pressing, tone calm, but questions laser-focused. She snapped back, "Why does it matter? We weren't exclusive." My stomach twisted as I remembered our first open mic karaoke disaster and how she'd sworn she cut him off after that humiliating duet. I pressed harder until she finally caved, voice cracking. It was 11 days ago. 11 days ago. That was right after our sunset hike where she'd woven wildflowers into my hair. She posted sun-kissed selfies with me while texting him heart emojis at the same time. I felt like footage of my life was being edited with betrayals in the invisible margins. All our midnight taco runs, conspiracy theory rants at 3 a.m., and spontaneous rain dances were now tainted. I imagined her slipping out of my apartment at dawn to meet him under the flickering street lamp, trust shattered into 1,000 pixelated artifacts. I told her I couldn't pretend ignorance anymore and explained that knowing the full timeline made every laugh we shared feel counterfeit. Her tears came in waves. First denial, then defiance, then frantic desperation. I was just thinking out loud, she sobbed. We weren't official, so technically I didn't cheat, she insisted, clawing at my sleeve. I'll block him right now, I swear. But it was already too late. Her promises rang hollow, like rebooted software updates doomed to bug out. If I'd been her first priority, she wouldn't have needed that final closure. She would never have casually slipped it into conversation like an unnecessary ad pop-up. I stood up, grabbed my jacket in self-respect, and told her I'd had enough of being plan B. She begged, tears flooding the laminate floor, but the foundation was irreparably cracked. I drove home in stunned silence, city lights streaking past like glitching pixels. Back at my studio apartment, I collapsed onto my couch with my phone in hand, heart pounding. I opened my dating apps again, despite swearing I'd deleted them for her. I realized how brutal modern dating is, like streaming 4K on dial-up internet. There are always ghosts from old connections, open tabs you never asked to load. They slow down new relationships and infect them with buffering and error codes. I genuinely thought we were crafting something rare, hand-drawn animations in a CGI world. She nuked 3 months of progress with one careless question. It wasn't even really about me. She never fully checked out of her past. Maybe I'm naive for needing exclusivity before a formal label. Maybe everyone's just juggling too many tabs, forgetting to close the old ones. Relationship status, buffering error code, trust not found. Mission failed, but hey, at least I learned kombucha brewing, succulent rescue, and how not to assemble IKEA in love. Time to patch up my heart and launch version 2.0 of myself.